everyone. Folks, if you are just joining us, again, my name is Jamie Marie, and I'm a naturalist here at the aquarium on the back side of the second floor mezzanine. But inside the exhibit, two of our trainers have just entered to do a feeding and training session with our two southern sea otters on exhibit today. Now, folks, of our two otters, the blonde one all the way over on the right-hand side of the exhibit is Ivy. She's blonde all the way from the top of her head down to the middle of her belly. She's pretty easy to spot here in the exhibit. But next to her, with the golden blonde head poking up out of the water, is our oldest sea otter, Rosa. Looks like Ivy and Rosa are sticking close together for the time being. Now, folks, this is a very special week for us here at the aquarium and for Rosa as well, because this week we are celebrating Rosa's 24th birthday with us here. I know, it's pretty exciting. We're very excited as well. In fact, right now, to our knowledge, Rosa is the oldest living southern sea otter. So it is so incredible for us to be spending her birthday with her together, and we're having a really great time with Rosa here today. And folks, Rosa is our otter right there in the water closest to the deck. It looks like Ivy's showing off some incredible skills as well up on the deck. Now, folks, like I mentioned, this is a feeding and a training session. So we're asking our otters to do a variety of behaviors that really assist with their animal care here at the aquarium. And we do this using a method called positive reinforcement. So every time we ask the otter to do a behavior and they choose to do so, they're rewarded with those tasty treats you see on exhibit. And if they choose not to, that's okay. You see, our trainers will engage the otters throughout the session, but it is always up to them whether or not they want to participate on their training on any given day. But those tasty treats are a really good reward because on the menu today, our otters are munching on squid, shrimp, and shelled clam's tongue, which is a lot of soft, squishy food. Now, out in the wild, otters, they can eat a variety of different marine invertebrates, which are animals without backbones, a lot of which come trapped in a really hard, crunchy shell. Think crabs or sea urchins. Now, in the wild, otters use tools to crack these shells open. However, we've made that mistake of giving our otters these hard-shelled foods on exhibit in the past, and they've shown us the best tool to use to crack into them is actually the clear exhibit windows you're looking through now. Right? Go figure. So instead, we stick to the soft, squishy food here on exhibit, and we save the crunchy stuff for behind the scenes. But that doesn't mean we're not practicing natural behaviors here on enrichment. It just looks a little bit different. In fact, this is a really great day because we are going to see a lot of different enrichments here inside our exhibit today. Now, here at the aquarium, an enrichment is anything that serves as mental or physical stimulation and allows our otters to use their minds, body, and exhibits in new and exciting ways every day. Now, today, we are seeing a lot of toy and ice-based enrichments. For those of you on the first floor, you might see some different toys or enrichments scattered throughout the bottom of the exhibit. At one point in the day, these were filled with the same tasty treats our otters are eating now. Again, squid, shrimp, and clam's tongue. But when placed inside that toy, they work like a puzzle, allowing our otters to figure out how to get the food from inside the toy to inside their mouth instead. Now, before our feeding session, I know many of you pointed out you might have seen some ice enrichments entering the exhibit as well. This ice, I like to think, is an otter version of a potato chip, something they can crunch on, gives them that satisfactory crunch, but it does not harm their exhibit windows. But folks, like I mentioned, this is a very special day. We are celebrating Rosa's birthday here at the aquarium. So if you folks would like to stick around throughout our feeding, we will be giving Rosa some very interesting enrichments to celebrate this very special occasion. Now, you might be noticing that our otters are doing very different behaviors. Ivy has hopped up on the deck and went back into the water. These behaviors are really essential to allow our trainers to get a good view of our otter's body and how they move throughout the exhibit. Because, folks, each and every time you see a person inside an exhibit here at the aquarium, they're doing quick checkups, quick evaluations of all the animals present. And by doing these training sessions, our otters are actually participating in that healthcare all on their own. You see, by having Ivy move up and down and out of the water, our trainer Sarah is getting a really good view of her feet and her flippers and her fur, both on dry land and in the water as well, giving her a really good evaluation. Now, Rosa, she's also doing a really special behavior. She's doing something called stationing, which might seem really simple, but takes a lot of hard work and training on behalf of both our trainers and our sea otter. You see, Rosa has been trained to station at this one specific spot inside our exhibit. That allows us to make sure we are always knowing which trainer is working with Rosa on any given day. Now, Ivy just showed off a favorite behavior. Oh, there she goes again. Now, this behavior might look like it's just for fun, but believe it or not, that's actually a top survival technique when you're a sea otter. You see that super cute spin Ivy does when she pops up out of the water is a behavior we like to call periscoping. Now, there are no predators here in our sea otter exhibit. However, out in the wild, otters can use this periscoping behavior to survey the water around them, looking for other otters, predators, maybe even looking for a place to dive down under the water and find some food. Now, practicing natural behaviors is a really important part of being on exhibit here for our sea otters. You see, all the otters you see here inside of our exhibit, they've been deemed non-releasable by the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife. And that just means they'll be staying here at the aquarium for continued human care. Now, here on exhibit, they serve as ambassadors for their species and teach all of us how incredibly amazing southern sea otters are. But behind the scenes, they have an even more important job. Because behind the scenes, these otters serve as foster or surrogate moms for our sea otter surrogacy program here at the aquarium. You see, this is a one-of-a-kind program and happens absolutely nowhere else in the world. We are able to pair up our exhibit otters with pups that have been rescued or stranded in the wild. Once paired, exhibit otter and pup, they actually head behind the scenes and they're given time to bond so that our otter can teach that pup all of the skills they need to survive on their own. They'll learn how to dive, hunt for food, practice that periscoping behavior, learn how to groom all that sea otter fur as well. And once that pup has mastered the essential life skills to be a sea otter, they'll then head back out to the Monterey Bay and support our local sea otter population. Now, Rosa, she has been an incredible surrogate mom to 15 sea otter pups here at the aquarium. So she has put in a lot of incredible hard work in helping support these wild southern sea otters. Now, folks, this is no small task. Now, if any of you have been lucky enough to step out on our back decks today, you might have seen some sea otters lounging in the kelp forest. I went out there just before our feeding. I saw a raft of almost 15 to 20 sea otters just to the right-hand side of the aquarium. But this wasn't always the case. In the 1800s, otters were actually hunted during the fur trade to near extinction, and at one point, there were only 50 sea otters left. Yeah, you heard me right, 50 sea otters. Now, that last raft of otters, they were discovered off the coast of Big Sur, luckily by some otter advocates who took action. Knowing they might be the last group of southern sea otters in existence, these hikers knew they needed to be protected. Now, southern sea otters are protected here in California, and thanks to our incredible surrogate moms just like Rosa, as well as that protection, this wild sea otter population has rose to nearly 3,000 individuals today. So really, thank our girls here on exhibit for all the hard work they've done to support their species. I know, right? That's worthy of a thank you. Now, folks, it looks like our training session has come to an end. However, if you would like, feel free to stick around. In a few more minutes, some of our trainers will be heading on out into the exhibit again, this time to provide some special birthday enrichment to our special birthday girl, Rosa. Now, folks, if you have any questions about sea otters for the time being, again, my name's Jamie Marie. I am back here on the back side of the second floor mezzanine. Come on up. I'm more than happy to chat. I'm going to hop off mic for a few minutes, but I will be back on when our enrichment enters the exhibit. And of course, thank you all for joining me here at the Sea Otter exhibit. I hope you all have a great time today at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Well, hello again, everyone. To everyone here at the Sea Otter exhibit and the aquarium. Again, my name is Jamie Marie. I'm over here on the back side of the second floor mezzanine. But also to hello of all of our incredible folks listening in online from our live stream of our sea otters or even on Twitch listening in with Doug. We appreciate all of your support. Our trainers have just made their way back into the exhibit. They are giving some very special enrichments to our very special sea otters, particularly Rosa, as we celebrate her 24th birthday with us this week. Now, the enrichment, this is one of my favorites I think I have ever seen here at the aquarium. They have both just been given some ice popsicle cupcakes in celebration of Rosa's birthday. Now, it looks like those of you on the left-hand window, you're getting a really good view of those sea otter cupcakes. Now, don't worry, there's no actual cake involved. However, the top part of the cupcake, the frosting, if you will, is made out of a blended up shrimp smoothie. Very delicious, very tasty snack. Looks like Rosa's enjoying that first part. Now, the bottom half of the cupcake is made out of a squid smoothie. So we've got a lot of seafood lovers here inside the exhibit, and it sounds like outside the exhibit as well. Now, folks, I really want to tell you the story of Rosa the sea otter because she is an incredible, amazing addition to our sea otter exhibit here at the aquarium. You see, Rosa actually joined us in 1999, found as a stranded pup. And when Rosa joined us here at the aquarium, we did not have a sea otter surrogacy program. In fact, Rosa the sea otter was raised by people, doing their absolute best to act as sea otters and teach her all of the life skills she would need to know. Rosa, she was taught how to swim and dive and groom her fur. She was even taken out into the ocean, practicing ocean dives and finding food. Now, Rosa was released. However, after showing us she was incredibly friendly with all sorts of divers and people out in the water, she was brought back here to the aquarium. Now, once Rosa was brought back, she became an incredible addition to our then launched Sea Otter Surrogacy Program. Now, here at the aquarium, we have a surrogacy program. We actually are able to pair up stranded or injured otters, bring them back to the aquarium, pair them up with our exhibit otters as a companion or a surrogate mother. And these surrogate moms, they teach the pups all the skills they need to know. They teach them how to be sea otters, how to survive in the wild. Now, Rosa started this program actually in 2005, and she was an incredible surrogate mother. During her time in our surrogacy program, Rosa actually raised 15 sea otter pups. So she has put in a lot of time and hard work to be an incredible mother to all these sea otters that went back out to the wild and supported our local sea otter population. Looks like Rosa is heartily enjoying that ice treat. Looks like she's getting that good basking crunch right there closest to the deck inside the exhibit. Ivy, of course, is in our sea otter spa, poking around, looking for some car wash kelp to play with. Ivy is also a part of the Sea Otter Surrogacy Program as well. Now, once Rosa retired from that Sea Otter Surrogacy Program in 2019, she became a permanent resident all-time here inside the exhibit. So we'll frequently see Rosa here inside the exhibit. And this position you see her in is pretty standard Rosa. She loves her sea otter naps right here in front of the window, crunching on that tasty ice, her favorite enrichment, especially when that ice is filled with shrimp. Now, folks, again, thank you all for coming here to the aquarium today, for listening in online. Your support for the sea otters in our aquarium is what makes this work possible. So thank you all for helping us inspire conservation of the ocean and protect this incredibly iconic Californian sea otter species. Now, folks, if you have any questions at all, or you're looking to learn more about sea otters, come on up. Again, my name's Jamie Marie. I'm over here on the back side of the second floor mezzanine, more than happy to chat. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about our Sea Otter Surrogacy Program, head just behind me here to our auditorium. We are showing Luna, a sea otter story at 2 o'clock today that will teach you all about an incredible journey of one of those otters making their way through this surrogacy program. And of course, if you want to see even more otters here at the aquarium, head out to our back decks. I've seen a large raft of otters just to the right-hand side of our aquarium decks today, basking in the beautiful sunny day we have here in Monterey today. But of course, if you folks are ready to move on and keep exploring, thank you for joining us here at the Sea Otter exhibit, both in person and online. Thank you to Doug and all of your Twitch streamers for coming and joining us here virtually in our Sea Otter exhibit. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.